Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most anticipated upcoming releases in the Assassin's Creed franchise, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ubisoft has decided to take a bold step with this installment, featuring a protagonist who has sparked quite a bit of controversy. The game centers around Yasuke, an African samurai. Yep, you heard that right. We're going to break down why this character and his portrayal have stirred up a storm of debate among historians, gamers, and even the Japanese government. So grab your popcorn and let's jump right into it. Assassin's Creed Shadows promises to be a visually stunning game with all the hallmarks of the series: stealth, parkour, and epic battles. But what really sets it apart is its protagonist, Yasuke. If you're not familiar, Yasuke was a historical figure, an African who served under the Japanese warlord Oda Nobunaga in the late 16th century. However, Ubisoft's decision to cast him as a samurai and warrior has raised eyebrows for several reasons. Historical inaccuracies. Yasuke the African samurai. Let's start with the historical inaccuracies. Yasuke's story is fascinating, no doubt. He arrived in Japan around 1579, brought by Jesuit missionaries. His presence in Japan was indeed remarkable, and he caught the attention of Nobunaga. But here's where it gets tricky. Historically, Yasuke was not a trained samurai. Training to be a samurai was no small feat. It took anywhere from 5 to 8 years of rigorous training to master the martial skills, the code of Bushido, and the discipline required to be considered a samurai. Yasuke, who arrived in Japan as an adult, simply did not have the time or the training to earn this title. His primary role was that of an exotic servant or slave, not a warrior. Yasuke's true role. While Yasuke did carry a sword for Nobunaga, this was more symbolic than anything else. He was valued for his physical strength and exotic appearance, which fascinated the Japanese. There's no solid evidence to suggest that Yasuke was ever trained as a samurai or participated in battles. He was more of a bodyguard or a status symbol for Nobunaga than a warrior. Controversy over Yasuke's portrayal. Now, let's get into the controversy. Ubisoft's decision to portray Yasuke as a samurai has not sat well with many, particularly in Japan. There's a strong sentiment that this portrayal distorts historical facts for the sake of a more marketable game narrative. Japanese government's reaction. The Japanese government and some historians have expressed their dissatisfaction with this creative liberty. They argue that it misrepresents their culture and history, turning a complex and nuanced historical figure into a simplified video game character. There are concerns that this might lead to misconceptions about the samurai and Japanese history among younger audiences who might not be familiar with the real story. The woke agenda, rumors and reactions. Adding fuel to the fire are the rumors that Ubisoft might be portraying Yasuke as homosexual or bisexual in the game. This has led to accusations of pushing a woke agenda and has been met with mixed reactions from different communities. Historical and cultural sensitivity. From a historical standpoint, there is no evidence to suggest anything about Yasuke's sexual orientation. Introducing this aspect into the game without historical basis can be seen as another layer of inaccuracy. Critics argue that it feels forced and detracts from the true historical narrative. LGBTQ+ representation. On the other hand, proponents argue that representation matters and that video games can be a powerful medium to explore diverse stories and perspectives. They see this as a positive step towards inclusivity in gaming. However, it's a delicate balance between representation and historical accuracy, and Ubisoft's handling of this will be crucial. Samurai and the code of Bushido. One of the core elements of the samurai was their adherence to the code of Bushido, a strict moral code emphasizing honor, courage, and loyalty. For Yasuke to be considered a samurai, he would have had to fully embody these principles, which again, due to his background and role, is historically questionable. Yasuke's loyalty and intentions. Yasuke's loyalty was to Nobunaga, but this was more out of duty as a servant than a samurai's honor-bound allegiance. His primary role was to serve, not to fight. The idea of him willingly fighting and potentially dying for Japan is not consistent with his historical role and personal background. Impact on the Assassin's Creed. Franchise Assassin's Creed has always taken liberties with history, blending fact and fiction to create compelling narratives. However, the choice to cast Yasuke in this light raises questions about the balance between creative freedom and respect for historical accuracy. Previous installments like Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey have also taken creative liberties, but they were generally rooted in plausible historical contexts. The leap with Yasuke, however, seems to stretch this balance further than usual. Conclusion: a mixed bag. So what does this all mean for Assassin's Creed Shadows? It's undoubtedly going to be a visually stunning and potentially engaging game. However, the historical inaccuracies and the controversy surrounding Yasuke's portrayal might overshadow the gameplay for some. Ubisoft is treading on thin ice with this one. They have the opportunity to bring a unique and fascinating historical figure to a broader audience, but it's crucial they handle it with care and respect. Whether they strike the right balance between creativity and accuracy remains to be seen. What do you think? Are you excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows, or do you think Ubisoft has gone too far this time? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more game reviews and updates. Until next time, happy gaming.